My name is Joshua Whitman, and I am in English 310 with Mr. Banville, and this is my final draft of the second option that I chose, which is to review and analyze the Garmin scenario. So my description would be, I'll be analyzing the crisis communication plan and the events that followed of the Garmin ransomware attack that happened on July 23rd, 2020. I decided to choose to show the pros and cons and Garmin's responses and how they handled the situation, if they handled it properly or if they did not handle it properly. So the timeline, we can start on Thursday, July 3rd. Garmin, multinational company, huge company, was hacked by a group known as Evil Corp. That they used a anti-ransomware software labeled Waster Locker to be able to get Garmin to get their services offline. According to TechCrunch.com, the incident began late Wednesday and continued through the weekend, causing disruption to the company's online services for millions of users, including Garmin Connect, which syncs users' activity and data to the cloud and other devices. The attack also took down Fly Garmin, its aviation navigation and route planning service. Now, I do know a good bit about the Fly Garmin because in my family, my uncle is actually a commercial pilot. And when he goes flying on his personal time, he uses the Fly Garmin software. And it's very important that that needs to be up 24/7 because that is his map and that is his roadway when he's flying. So this is a very serious situation that happened. The first response that we can see from Garmin comes from a banner on their main website, and it stated, "We are currently experiencing an outage that affects Garmin.com and Garmin Connect. This outage also affects our call centers, and we are currently unable to receive calls, emails, or online chats." And they go on to say, "We are working to resolve this issue," and blah, 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 the normal stuff that any company would say after a hack. So the users started reaching out to Garmin and to try to see what happened and if any of their data got leaked or if they fixed the problem anytime soon. But they couldn't even reach the Garmin associates because the way the hack worked is that it cut off the cell communications and the email communications, IM communications to Garmin so that the customers could not contact the Garmin professionals. Ultimately, that leading to Garmin posting their responses all on Twitter. And then users go on tweeting, and going on 3 days now, very bizarre. Must be pretty serious stuff for a service that is usually always up and running. Hope it gets sorted out soon and doesn't affect the workouts I have and ready to upload. Another user tweets, "Long time user, first time commenter. My first Garmin was the GPS 5. I've owned Rhinos, Forerunners, and Phoenixes. You sometimes drive me crazy, but you've been one of the most consistently dependent companies that I've ever dealt with. Everyone take a deep breath and we'll get through this." As you can see, that there are loyal Garmin customers out there that understand what is going on and don't expect a response back or a situational agreement back anytime soon, because I guess at that time no one knew the severity of the hack when it was happening. On the fourth day, Garmin finally speaks out to the public and says, "We are happy to report that many of the systems and services affected by the recent outage, including Garmin Connect and Fly Garmin, are all returning to operations." And they said also some features still have temporary limitations while all the data is being processed. So that was the timeline. From my analyzation, I can see that Garmin did some positive things. They did some reaching out to the community, which is always great in a crisis like this. But I do see that they did make a lot of mistakes on handling how information got out and how information got into the company in the first place. The first thing that I see that Garmin did right was they addressed the public in the best way they could, which was the only way they could, which was through Twitter. And I say here, and let's face it, everyone has a Twitter nowadays, and huge percentage of the world is on Twitter, as we can see. Our President Trump connects through Twitter so much, And with having a president being that tech worthy, we can see that so many people have joined Twitter just for that reason, to follow politics, for any situational reason. Twitter has kind of exploded to a platform for everybody. So that was good. They reached out. They said, "Hold on, we're analyzing the hack," which was good to keep the Garmin customers at ease, knowing that they were working on it and that they were just not blindsided by this. When in hindsight, they really were blindsided by this hack. The second thing that Garmin did was that when they addressed the public again, they they noted that personal identification information was not invaded or released to the hackers, which was a huge concept that people were relying that Garmin would not let out from the hack, because that has everyone's addresses. Sometimes I know for Fly Garmin, you have to put in your social security number and your VIN number to your vehicle, aircraft wise. So you have all that information out there, including credit card information, debit card information, anything like that that could get to those hackers. I would have been scared myself, since all that would have been out there, just knowing what they would do with it. So that's good that they did let the customers know that that wasn't going to cause anything, because that information did not get leaked. The third thing that I can see that Garmin did right was that they let everyone know when the hack was over, and that everything was running smoothly. They did keep the customers waiting somewhat. I know that this timeline lasted about maybe a week to around 7 days. Um, but it's always good to be present and just to let people know that yes, there was a problem. We fixed it. We are in the final stages of fixing this hack. So I do understand where they're coming from there. Now the cons, I do see that they did do a lot of things wrong. Um, the first thing that I can see that Garmin did was they didn't contain it when it was happening. Obviously nowadays, if something happens in a huge scale as something as a hack like this, we can see that there's going to be someone somewhere going to tweet about it, Instagram about it, let out some information about it, to the public to get it out there. And it did. It happened. It was all over MSNBC, CNN, Fox News. As soon as this happened, it was on the main media projects. And that was what they were focusing on at that time. When Garmin wanted to keep it at a lower level, they should have closed the system down, closed their building down, not let anyone in or out, not let any press in or out, just to keep it on the lowdown. The second bad decision that I see that Garmin made was that they did not keep the ransomware hack under wraps. Now, like again, I'm saying that it got all released on social media, letting people know what the hack did, what had happened. That was a very bad thing to let know what happened, because people can do their homework at home. People can go home and look and see what exactly does PII mean, or what exactly does this certain ransomware deal with, and they can eventually figure out that it deals with people's personal identification information, their credit card, banking systems, all of that. And the Wasted Locker hackers reportedly demanded $10 million that Garmin needed to pay in order to get out of this hack. And once that was released around Thursday, when the hack ended around Friday. So we can see that there had to have been someone on the inside letting this information out, because Garmin did not tweet it themselves. So they did not contain this leak like they should have. I mean, $10 million is a crazy amount of money. So, I also say, we can immediately assess the nature of the attack and start remediation efforts. We have no indication that any customer data was accessed, lost, or stolen. So that was coming from the CEO of Garmin, Cliff Pemble. But then on the other end, you have the reactions being like, you have no idea of what this hack can really do. Being ransomed and being put on a blackmail pedestal as they were, where the hackers were demanding $10 million, absolutely outrageous. And that should have never gotten leaked to the press, never gotten leaked to anybody, because Garmin did reach out to different cyberware companies to help them get out of this rut. And the third thing that I see that Garmin did wrong was that after the hack, I really didn't see Garmin go back and try to sell back to their clients. They did not announce that they made a team specifically for these types of situations, or that they had a new anti-hacking software that would keep their customers safe. Like me, like I was saying, if I were Garmin, I would have come up with what you would call a hacker response team. That would be my main objective. Like I say on the Word document, I would have them work in rotating shifts 24/7, completing diagnostics, seeing where we are vulnerable at, and where we can put up more firewalls in case of that instance happening again. So that's what I would have liked them to see. Like to see them do was to create a better response team. So, and then I have my sources cited page here. I did use about 4 sources. So that is my analyzation and understanding of the Garmin scenario.